Few things frustrate a man more than being ignored by a woman. It's confusing and unexpected, triggering an instinct to act, texting, calling, explaining, or trying to fix whatever went wrong. But here's the hard truth. These reactions are often the biggest mistakes you can make in modern dating, no matter how well intended. Women test men more than ever. They subconsciously check if you can stay composed under pressure, truly confident, or if you'll crack when they pull away. And most men fail, not because they're bad partners, but because they don't understand female psychology. They misinterpret silence as a problem to solve when it's an opportunity to prove their value. Being ignored isn't always a rejection, it's a moment of truth. How you respond can either raise or destroy attraction. In this video, we're breaking down the 5 biggest mistakes men make when women ignore them, and what to do instead. You'll understand how to handle these situations with confidence, self-respect, and emotional control. And stay until the end. I've got a bonus tip to help you avoid the one mistake even high-value men sometimes make. Let's get started. Mistake 1. Over-texting or over-communicating. One of the most common mistakes men make when pursuing a woman is over-texting. It's a natural reaction. When a woman doesn't reply quickly, a man assumes she is busy, uninterested, or waiting for him to say something more engaging, so he sends another message, and then another. He crafts the perfect follow-up text, hoping it will spark her interest. But instead of drawing her closer, his messages push her further away. Why? Because over-texting signals desperation. It tells her that he lacks patience, confidence, and emotional control. Women are not drawn to men who appear needy. They are attracted to men who are secure in themselves. When a man constantly initiates conversations, seeks validation through texts, or anxiously waits for her response, he unknowingly diminishes his value in her eyes. Instead of being a challenge, he becomes predictable, too available, eager, and easy to ignore. Attraction thrives in mystery and anticipation. She won't feel the pull of curiosity or desire if she never has the chance to wonder about him. When a man gives her space, he allows tension to build, and tension is the foundation of attraction. A woman who doesn't have time to miss a man won't develop strong feelings for him. If he is always in her inbox, responding instantly, checking in repeatedly, she never gets the opportunity to experience the emotional high of uncertainty, the feeling that makes attraction grow. Until then, Augustine's poetry attempts to answer. A confident man understands this. He knows that a lack of response is a response in itself. He doesn't send multiple messages in a row. He doesn't ask why she hasn't replied. He doesn't flood her with paragraphs, hoping more words will change her feelings. Instead, he takes a step back. He lets her sit in his absence. He allows her to notice the silence. Women are intuitive. They recognize when a man controls his emotions versus when he is reacting impulsively. If he disappears for a while, she will take notice. She will start wondering where he is, what he's doing, why he isn't reaching out. And that curiosity will work in his favor. It shifts the dynamic. Suddenly, she is the one who has to make the effort. If she values him, she will reach out. If she doesn't, no amount of messaging will change that. The key here is emotional self-discipline. A man who masters this skill will always stand out. He understands that silence speaks louder than words. Instead of over-explaining, he allows his actions to communicate his value. He does not beg for attention. He does not chase. He maintains his focus on his own life, his goals, and his passions. And when he does text, he does so with purpose, not out of insecurity. Women are drawn to men who create an emotional impact. Sometimes the most substantial effect comes from saying nothing. The next time a man feels the urge to double text, overanalyze, or over-communicate, he should remind himself, less is more. A well-timed silence can generate more attraction than 1,000 carefully crafted words. Instead of filling every gap, he should allow space for anticipation, curiosity, and desire to develop. By respecting his values, he teaches her to respect him. By not seeking constant validation, he naturally commands attention, and by letting her come to him, he ensures that the interest is mutual, not forced. Ultimately, a man who can walk away is far more attractive than one who clings. The lesson is simple: step back, stay composed, and let absence work in your favor. Mistake 2. Trying to win her back. When a woman begins to pull away, most men react in a way that feels instinctively correct, but is in reality entirely self-destructive. They panic, they flood her with texts, try to get an immediate response and escalate when that fails. They send long-winded messages, pouring their hearts out in desperate attempts to reignite the connection. Some go even further, sending flowers, leaving gifts, and writing emotional letters filled with promises of change. These grand gestures may seem romantic, but they reek of insecurity. Instead of drawing her back, they push her even further away. The fundamental mistake here is the belief that attraction can be rekindled through effort alone. If a man just tries hard enough, says the right words, and proves his devotion, she will come running back. This is a flawed understanding of attraction. Women don't respect men who need their approval. They respect men who maintain their sense of self, regardless of what happens. When a man starts chasing, he lowers his value in her eyes. Instead of being the strong, independent man she was once drawn to, he becomes someone who is begging for validation. A woman doesn't fall in love because of how much a man gives her or how deeply he loves her. She falls in love with his presence, how he moves through the world, and the sense of purpose and confidence he embodies. When a man loses himself in the pursuit of regaining her, he becomes weak in her perception. She might be unable to explain it logically, but she feels it. A man too eager to win her back makes her question why she left in the first place. Because deep down, she knows that a man of actual value wouldn't be chasing her. The correct response is counterintuitive but straightforward: do not chase. Instead of scrambling to convince her of your worth, prove it through your actions, not to her, but to yourself. Shift your energy from trying to get her back to becoming a stronger version of yourself. Hit the gym, improve your career, pursue your passions, and expand your social circle. Make your life so full and rewarding that you stop thinking about whether she's paying attention. The moment she sees that you are unfazed by her absence and that you are thriving without her, she begins to notice. Women don't respond to words, they react to presence. A man constantly reminds her that his love, devotion, and efforts appear weak. But a calm man doesn't respond emotionally to her pulling away and continues to live fully. This man sparks curiosity. She starts to wonder why he isn't chasing, why he seems unbothered, why he's still standing firm. But here's the key: you don't do this as a tactic to get her back. You do this because it is the correct way to operate as a man. You naturally become more attractive when you stop trying to force an outcome and instead focus on your growth. And if she comes back, it will be because she is genuinely drawn to you again, not because you manipulated her into feeling guilty or obligated. And if she doesn't? Then you walk away with your dignity intact, knowing you never had to beg for love in the first place. You don't need to convince the right person to stay. You don't need to prove your worth to someone who couldn't recognize it the first time. A high-value man operates from a place of abundance, not scarcity. He understands that no one person determines his happiness or self-worth. He never pleads for attention because he knows that the moment he does, he's lost the very thing that makes him desirable. The only way to win in these situations is to stop playing the game. Let her feel your absence. Let time and space work in your favor. If she realizes what she lost, she will return. But by that point, you may no longer care. And that is the true power of self-respect. When you no longer need her to validate your worth, you have already won. Mistake 3. Reacting out of anger or frustration. One of the men's biggest mistakes when dealing with rejection or indifference from a woman is reacting emotionally. When she ignores their messages or seems distant, they let frustration take over. Some lash out, sending passive-aggressive texts or asking why she's behaving this way. Others make attention-seeking social media posts, cryptic messages, dramatic updates, or even attempts to make her jealous. Some take a more direct approach, confronting her with anger or demanding an explanation for her behavior. While all of these reactions might feel justified in the heat of the moment, they ultimately achieve only one thing: confirming that she was right to pull away in the first place. Women are naturally drawn to emotional strength. When a man loses his composure, he unknowingly signals weakness. He shows that she has power over him, that her actions dictate his emotions, and that his sense of stability depends on her attention. This is profoundly unattractive. A woman may not consciously articulate why, but she instinctively feels that a man who lacks control over his emotions is not someone she can respect. Respect and attraction go hand in hand. If she stops respecting you, she stops being drawn to you. The most potent response to being ignored is silence. No angry texts, guilt-tripping messages, or attempts to make her feel bad. Simply withdraw your attention. This is not about manipulation. It's about demonstrating self-respect. A man who values himself does not beg for acknowledgement or seek revenge through immature actions. He remains calm and unbothered, and continues living without missing a step. True confidence is not proven through words, but through action. Instead of wasting energy trying to force a reaction out of her, redirect that energy towards self-improvement. Hit the gym, double down on your career, and focus on personal growth. Every second spent overanalyzing her behavior takes away from your progress. The irony is, the more you focus on yourself, the more likely she is to notice. Women have an intuitive sense of when a man is thriving without them, and that is often when they start reconsidering their choices. A man who can control his emotions, who does not let a woman's actions dictate his state of mind, is rare. And rare is valuable. He stands apart from the crowd because he operates from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. He knows that no single person determines his worth. He doesn't demand attention, he commands it through his presence. The lesson here is simple. Emotional maturity is power. Losing control only proves that she was right to walk away. Staying composed, focusing on your growth, and letting silence speak for itself is what makes her second-guess her decision. And even if she never does, it doesn't matter, because you've already won by mastering yourself. Mistake 4. Seeking validation or over-apologizing. Many men unknowingly sabotage their attractiveness by constantly seeking validation. especially when a woman becomes distant or less responsive. They panic instead of maintaining composure and allowing space for things to unfold naturally. They assume they have done something wrong, even when there is no reason to believe so. They send messages like, "Are you mad at me?" or "Did I do something wrong?" hoping for reassurance. When that doesn't work, they escalate, sending long explanations, excessive apologies, and trying to fix a problem that may not even exist. This behavior stems from insecurity, which is the fastest way to erode a woman's attraction. A man constantly seeking external reassurance signals that he lacks internal stability. Women are naturally drawn to men who are sure of themselves, men who don't crumble at the first sign of uncertainty. When a man needs a woman's approval to feel okay about himself, he places her on a pedestal, subconsciously telling her that her opinion of him is more important than his self-respect. So then, over-apologizing is another mistake that weakens a man's position. Apologies should be reserved for genuine mistakes, not for imagined offenses. A confident man does not apologize for his presence, for taking up space, or for minor misunderstandings that don't warrant an apology. When a man over-apologizes, he appears weak, like he is desperately trying to undo a mistake he isn't even sure he made. Women don't respect men who constantly try to earn back favors through unnecessary apologies. A better approach is to assume you did nothing wrong unless there is clear evidence to the contrary. If a woman pulls away or becomes distant, it is often not about something a man did. It is about her emotions, her personal life, or even just a subconscious test of his resilience. A strong man does not panic. He does not chase or demand an explanation. He remains calm, confident, and unbothered. If an apology is truly warranted, say it once, mean it, and move forward. Never linger on it, never beg for forgiveness, never keep apologizing just to make her feel better. Women respect men who own their actions, but do not grovel for approval. And most importantly, give her space. Attraction thrives in absence, not in constant validation seeking. If she needs time, let her have it. If she genuinely values the connection, she will return on her own. Confidence is knowing that you do not need to chase or over-explain. It is understood that her response does not determine your worth. A high-value man does not fear uncertainty. He embraces it, and in doing so, he commands the respect and attraction that cannot be won through words alone. Mistake 5. Trying to make her jealous. One of the most common mistakes men make when a woman loses interest or pulls away is attempting to regain her attention by making her jealous. The logic behind this move seems simple. If she sees him with another woman and believes he is now in high demand, she will feel a sense of loss and come running back. Social media becomes a tool for strategic posts, pictures with other women, stories of exciting outings, and captions designed to provoke curiosity. He might even drop hints through mutual friends, subtly suggesting he has moved on. But here's the truth: this rarely works how men intend it to. Women are highly intuitive. They can tell when a man is genuinely living a fulfilling life versus when he is orchestrating a performance for their sake. And when a woman senses desperation, any lingering attraction quickly evaporates. What was once an intriguing man now seems immature, emotionally reactive, and needing external validation. The reason men fall into this trap is that they mistakenly believe attraction works in the same way for men and women. A man might feel jealous seeing his former partner with another man, and he assumes the reverse must be valid for her. However, female psychology does not operate solely on competition. Women are not simply attracted to men because other women want them. They are attracted to men who demonstrate value through confidence, self-sufficiency, and emotional composure. When a man tries too hard to make her jealous, it signals the opposite of these traits. Instead of appearing as someone secure in himself, he communicates insecurity. Instead of showing abundance, he reveals scarcity. Because a man who genuinely has options does not need to prove it. He does not need to play games. His actions do not revolve around crafting an illusion for the sake of one person's reaction. Not only do these tactics fail to rekindle attraction, but they also create a toxic cycle. If by chance she does respond, the foundation of their renewed connection is built on insecurity and manipulation rather than genuine interest. It sets a precedent that attraction must be constantly maintained through strategic emotional maneuvers rather than natural chemistry and respect. This kind of dynamic erodes relationships rather than strengthening them. Furthermore, when a man engages in these games, he unknowingly gives his power away. His focus remains locked on her reaction rather than on himself. Instead of channeling his energy into self-improvement, career advancement, or personal growth, he invests his time constructing an image to elicit a response. This is a losing strategy. The only proper solution is to stop playing the game entirely. If a woman has pulled away, chasing, manipulating, or attempting to incite jealousy, it will only push her further. Instead of crafting an artificial image of desirability, a man should shift his focus inward. The goal is not to make her regret leaving. It is to become so content and fulfilled that whether she notices or not becomes irrelevant. A man who understands his worth does not seek external validation. He improves himself because he wants to, not because he hopes she will notice. He focuses on his career, fitness, friendships, and personal ambitions because those things matter to him, not because he wants to construct an illusion of high status. And the irony? This level of detachment is precisely what makes him truly attractive. When a woman sees that a man is thriving without her, not in a performative way but in a deeply authentic way, it forces her to reconsider. She begins to wonder, did I misjudge him? Did I overlook something valuable? But by then, the man she once knew had evolved. He is no longer seeking her approval, which makes him powerful. A high-value man does not need to convince anyone to stay. He does not attempt to manufacture desire. He knows that genuine attraction is never forced. It is cultivated through presence, self-respect, and an unwavering commitment to personal growth. If a woman is going to miss him, it will not be because he tried to make her jealous. It will be because, in his absence, she realizes the depth of what she lost. But by that point, the man she once knew may no longer be available, because he has moved on to a life so fulfilling that chasing anyone's validation is the last thing on his mind. Mistake 6. Waiting around for her response. It's natural to want to know where you stand, but the truth is, your life should not revolve around her reactions. When you constantly check your phone, anxiously awaiting a message or call, you send the message that your happiness and self-worth depend on her approval. This neediness is unattractive, and it places all the power in her hands. A high-value man understands that his life is his own. He has goals, ambitions, and a sense of purpose beyond any woman's approval. He focuses on his work, passions, health, and relationships with friends and family. If she chooses to be a part of that life, great. But he doesn't stop moving forward for her. The proper response is clear. Keep moving forward. Don't put your life on hold. You're not living your best life if you constantly pause to wait for her response. Focus on growth at the gym, work, and personal endeavors. If she comes back, that's great. If not, that's fine too. Life moves on, and so should you. High-value men do not sit idly by, hoping for someone to fill the void in their lives. They are goal-oriented, driven, and engaged in pursuing their passions. A woman's response shouldn't dictate your emotional state or next move. Another damaging mistake is altering who you are to try and please her. Men often fall into the trap of adjusting their personalities, habits, or preferences to align with what they think a woman wants. They may suppress their true self to gain her approval or fit into an idealized version of what they think is attractive. However, this type of self-sacrifice doesn't lead to genuine attraction. It only leads to frustration and resentment. Women respect men who are authentic and self-assured. When you change who you are to please someone, it signals insecurity, and this weakens the connection. She will sense that you're not being true to yourself, ultimately making her lose interest. Instead of molding yourself into what you think she wants, focus on unapologetically yourself. True self-improvement comes from the desire to better yourself for your own sake, not to win someone's affection. A woman who values you for your authenticity will be drawn to you, not for the changes you made to fit her ideal, but for the man you already are. When you focus on improving yourself because you want to grow and become a better version of yourself, the right woman will appreciate that journey. The lesson here is clear. The right woman will love you for who you are. There is no need to pretend to be someone you're not. When you're genuine and confident in your identity, you become the kind of man women respect and admire. The key to attraction isn't about changing who you are to please someone else. It's about embracing your true self and letting that shine. When a woman ignores a man, his reaction can reinforce or completely diminish her attraction. Most men instinctively panic, overtext, try to win her back, react emotionally, or seek validation. Mistakes that only push her further away. The truth is that a high-value man understands that attraction is not built through desperation, but through confidence, composure, and self-respect. Women test men's emotional stability, often without even realizing it. And the way a man responds in these moments speaks louder than any words he could say. Over-communicating only signals insecurity, giving her no time to miss you. Trying to win her back through grand gestures or excessive effort shows neediness, not value. Reacting with frustration or passive aggression proves that she controls your emotions, which is the opposite of attractive. Seeking validation and over-apologizing places your self-worth in her hands, weakening your position. And playing jealous games only makes you look immature and desperate. The reality is that true confidence doesn't need validation. A man who values himself will not sit around waiting or change who he is just to gain a woman's approval. The key to handling silence is to embrace it. Continue focusing on your goals, your passions, and your growth. Women are drawn to men with purpose and direction, not those who revolve their lives around seeking attention. If she comes back, great. If she doesn't, it's her loss. Your value does not decrease just because one person fails to recognize it. Have you made any of these mistakes before? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's learn from them together. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on dating, confidence, and self-improvement. Stay strong, maintain your value, and I'll see you in the next one.